Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's news, we have IS is crashing into FedEx buildings. We have forerunners carrying millions of dollars worth of drugs. But in all seriousness, guys, we may have just got a bunch of really sweet information on the entire upcoming Lexus lineup. I'll see you guys on the other side. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more Toyota and Lexus news, and let's get into it. Before we get into those juicy bits that I mentioned in the intro, I need to cover a couple things before we get there. If you just want to jump over to those topics, go ahead and look down at my comment below. You can find the tags for each individual section if you guys want to check it out. But there's some more information about our beloved and Toyota that we need to cover before we get into those things. So over at Electric, Lexus launches electric SUV for Asia and Europe, showing that Toyota can quickly shift to EVs. In a behind-the-scenes roundtable at the 2019 LA Auto Show, Toyota engineer Jackie Birdsall told us, "We have all the engineering development behind all power electronics, the battery, the electric motor, all of that. It makes it easy, should the market demand a battery electric vehicle, to pull the internal combustion engine components out and essentially launch a battery electric. We've strategically positioned ourselves from an engineering standpoint. We've developed everything that we need to be able to launch as soon as the customer demand is there, or consumer demand." Well, there is a demand, but it's not big enough in their eyes to mass produce EVs. So 2% right now is the current buy-in rate of EVs compared to normal cars, but they would be able to make EVs quickly out of their current lineup. And why is that? Is because of the TNGA platform. They have made it very modular, very plug and play. Is it going to be a direct competitor to fully EV designed vehicles like the electric skateboard that people talk about with Tesla vehicles? No, not quite. It's almost like a safeguard for Toyota because they can do whatever they want with this platform. With an electric skateboard, you can only make electric cars with it, or I should say battery electric cars with it. With a TNGA platform car, you can kind of use it as Legos, plug and play, take out the motor, take out the internal combustion engine, put in electric motor. This new platform that they have allows for that. And so it gives them some flexibility. In the future, of course, they are currently working on their electric skateboard modular, super modular, plug and play, fully electric platform. I think it's in conjunction with Subaru. But in the meantime, this should be able to suit their needs for the next 10 years. Speaking of electric and the future with Toyota, Toyota Canada is giving a ton of money to the University of Waterloo to research essentially fuel cells as well as battery electric vehicles, namely solid state batteries. So lots of stuff going on at that university. And then they are also backing a grant. So Toyota Research Institute releases RFP for 2020 and 2021 Fellowship Award. Its focus is on fuel cells and solid state batteries. So they're going to be handing out grants to professors as well as students in order to research all of these things, which is partially fuel cell as well as solid state batteries. Winners receive a restricted grant of no less than $50,000 to conduct the research outlined. Pending on the research progress and results obtained at the completion of the award period, Toyota may elect to enter into a research agreement with the recipient to continue work. So that means that they are essentially searching for the answers right now. They need to have a breakthrough in battery electric technology and fuel cells for that matter, because they're a long ways out for mass market as well. So they are tapping into people who want to study, want to research, and the brightest minds. They're not able in-house to discover all the things that need to be discovered to make this technology cheaper, more readily available, and up to their expectations. They are actually, this means the University of Waterloo in Canada, as well as this grant, they are looking for outside sources to figure out this issue because they know they need to switch to electric vehicles soon. And there are other bright minds outside of Toyota that they can essentially get ideas from and technologies from that they need help with. Denso and Toyota found semiconductor company. Denso is a producer of vehicle parts, and Denso used to be a part of Toyota, and Toyota currently owns 25% of Denso. But Denso supplies all automakers with internal parts for vehicles. Maybe not Tesla, but you guys get the point. But Toyota will have essentially half, and Denso will have the other half of this joint venture company. It's called Mirai, and will conduct research and advanced development of next generation in-vehicle semiconductors. Mirai will accelerate the development of next-generation in-vehicle semiconductors that play a key role in technology innovation for electric vehicles and automated driving vehicles from aspects of both vehicles and components by combining Toyota's knowledge on mobility with Denso's knowledge on in-vehicle components. So those three components are power electronics, sensing, and system on a chip. Feel free to read the rest of the article. We need to move on. Lexus enthusiasts, guys, if you follow my channel, you should probably have this site bookmarked because they give me a lot of information that I just essentially reflect back to you guys, and I put my spin on it. Now, this first drive with the Lexus e-axle 3rd generation hybrid system. This is the all-wheel drive ES that we're waiting for. We got another impression on it. Over at motoring.com.au, it's an Australian website. Top secret Lexus hybrid prototype trades front for all-wheel drive with posture control to make driving more fun. So this vehicle that they were driving around, they don't really know if it was a sedan or a SUV. I'm guessing it's essentially an ES, but there's so much camouflage and stuff and boxes and tarps around this vehicle while they were driving that I couldn't even really tell what it looks like. There were no back seats, just a bunch of wires and motors and crazy things that they weren't allowed to take pictures, of course, but just use your imagination of this Frankenstein vehicle. Now there's a simple 4-cylinder motor up in front. Imagine it's the 2.5 liter with around 200 horsepower that we see in vehicles like the RAV4. And they did a test lap around this test track, and the first lap was done with the 4-cylinder. It was just like kind of boring and sluggish and unresponsive. And the second lap, they flipped a switch, which engaged the rear motor. As I dial in throttle, the car comes alive, delivering the sort of progressive but potent thrust usually associated with EVs. I can still hear the front-mounted engine whirring away, but the electric motor or motors driving the rear axle transforms the car. It feels more nimble, more eager to attack corners, and the Lexus engineer encourages me to push through a few corners. The guy says, "Corner acceleration better?" he asks, and I nod enthusiastically. So essentially this e-axle, this electric motor in the rear, essentially transformed the car. This is very, very different than any other current all-wheel drive hybrid system in a Lexus or even a Toyota for that matter. So this is the new technology they're playing with: high performance hybrid motors and hybrid powertrains for the future of not just Lexus but for Toyota for that matter. And you can see that in the upcoming RAV4 Prime. Maybe not quite this sophisticated, but I think that is a good snapshot of the performance that we're going to be seeing here in the near future in the next couple of years. Toyota is unveiling the GR Yaris at the Tokyo Auto Salon. That should be coming January 10th to 12th near Tokyo, Japan. I'm not going to dive into this. You want to read the rest of the article, feel free. Back to Lexus enthusiasts, next generation NX crossover to debut next year. We're going to go straight to Just Auto, who is reporting this. Super juicy information here. First thing they talk about is a CT. They think they're going to replace it. It could be a wagon plus a sedan variant of the CT. They're thinking that the 2-liter turbo from the NX could also be in that vehicle. Do I expect to see this in America? I don't, unfortunately. Now, what's interesting here, there also may be a return of a wagon body style for the 4th generation IS. A 5-door hatchback to challenge the A5 Sportback is another possibility. Lexus has been expected to drop the GS due to the car's low sales worldwide. However, there have been rumors that a development program 300B was restarted and that this big sedan will be reinvented with the look of a 4-door coupe, aka like an A7 or something like that, in the style of a Mercedes-Benz CLS class, or CLS class, duh. I jumped the gun a little bit there. Nothing really new on the RC. We just got a facelift. They said the next RC could be a joint venture, of course, what we heard with the Subaru, or if that doesn't come in time, it'll be based off the GAL platform with the LS. No mentions of the LCF in this article. They talk about the van a little bit. We don't get that in America, but you see it in Asia. They talk about the UX300E. Again, we won't be seeing that in America, but here we go. The follow-up to the NX is due to enter production at Toyota Motors Kyushu's Miyata plant next July. This is something that I haven't heard yet. I was expecting it 2 Julys from now. If they move it up to next July, praise God. And I think they need to. And I think this is maybe they maybe moved it up a year before they're originally planning. Now, by the time this comes out, the RAV4's platform will have been out for 2 years. That should be enough time to work out enough kinks in this platform, the GAC. But next year could be very, very exciting for Lexus if this NX does come out next year, because the IS will be trailing right behind it. So we would potentially be getting 2 brand new models for 2021 model year. That is something I wasn't expecting. I really hope this is true because, guys, you know I will be the first person to bring you news, reviews on both of these vehicles. Now, if you don't remember, Toyota could also be building this in Canada too, alongside the RX. And what they don't mention here is the plug-in variant. This will have a plug-in hybrid 100%. I would expect it to be exactly the same as the plug-in hybrid that we're seeing in the RAV4. So around 300 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds, 40 miles of range on fully electric, and probably still around 40 miles per gallon in pure hybrid mode. Now, this is the first information that we are getting on the first generation RX, or I should say fifth generation RX, not the first. The fifth generation RX is going to be built in Canada and Japan, of course. No surprises there. This is something new. There will be a standard and long wheelbase body. The current RX has a standard and a long variant. However, it's the same wheelbase. They're saying there will also be a plug-in hybrid. Of course, there would be a plug-in hybrid if the NX comes out with a plug-in hybrid, let's say 2-3 years before this fifth generation RX does. A fully electric variant would be a nice welcome in place of the petrol electric hybrid. So let's say they get rid of the standard hybrid, they only make the fully plug-in hybrid, and then they also have a fully electric. That would be really cool to see on the RX, and of course a standard V6 as well. They talk about the GX. Next generation GX has reportedly been delayed until 22. Of course, it will be on a new platform. They said there could be a hybrid variant, which is expected because they said all Lexus and Toyota vehicles will have an electric variant of that vehicle by 2025. And no news really on the LX that I haven't covered on the channel. They do talk about the LF1 Limitless being called the LQ, which I've covered as well on the channel. It would be a large crossover like the Audi Q8. We don't know what motor. This isn't telling us anything about the motor. Could it be fully electric? Maybe. Could it be twin turbo V6? Could it be twin turbo V8? I have no idea at this point, but expect it to be high performance compared to any other crossover Lexus has made. They talk about a hydrogen LS eventually coming out, which is no surprise based off the LS Plus concept at the 2017 Tokyo show, at the 2017 Tokyo Motor Show. But that wraps up the juicy information. How about the fun stuff? Or not so fun stuff if you're this lady. Dallas woman smuggles 1.3 million in drugs hidden in a Toyota 4Runner's tires. This lady, Monica Rodriguez, attempted entry into the United States at the Juarez-Lincoln port of entry in Laredo, driving a 4Runner. During initial inspection, authorities noticed anomalies in all 4 tires. They conducted a search and found 24 bundles of heroin and meth discreetly hidden in the tires. The heroin and meth had approximately a weight of almost 49 kilograms and about 14 kilograms. The street value was in excess of $1.3 million. For transporting this, she was going to be receiving 15 grand. And now, instead of receiving that 15 grand for failing her delivery, she faces a minimum of 10 years and up to life in prison, as well as a possible $10 million fine. How would she ever be able to pay back a $10 million fine? She's screwed pretty much for the rest of her life. But that's why, kids, you don't smuggle drugs across the border. At least she picked a decent vehicle to do it in. Lexus hit and run driver crashes into FedEx office, injuring 1. This is just another reason I don't want to move to California. But here you go. There's the IS in the middle of a FedEx. Sad day, guys. F-Sport Package 2, that guy's cracking hard. He's carrying his buddy away. I don't know if that's the guy who crashed her. Or maybe I just don't know what's going on. But these guys, the dude's pushing him away. He's laughing. Oh, that's so good. Look at this dude. Oh my gosh. Just freaks everywhere in LA. No thanks, not for me. I'll stay in freezing Nebraska where we don't have that many weirdos, or I'll go back to Florida where it's warm and slightly less amount of weirdos. So what do you guys think? That was a ton of news. I was not really expecting to jam that all in one video. I've been super busy lately pumping out that GS 350 review for 2020. But really the biggest headline is the addition of the next generation NX, possibly coming next year as a 2021 model. That is very unexpected. I don't know what to say. Were any of you expecting the NX possibly to be coming out next year? Next summer, really? Could it also have a plug-in hybrid variant essentially launching at the exact same time as the RAV4 Prime? That is a possibility. And again, I was expecting the NX to come out a complete year after the RAV4 Prime does. But guys, there's so much juicy information in this. But if you haven't liked the video, make sure to like it, subscribe for more Toyota Lexus news. Patreon supporters, you guys are the best. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.